Do you ever feel like money is a monster that lives under your bed, waiting to grab you the moment you wake up? You work hard, you earn your paycheck, and then, like magic, it vanishes. You look at your bank account and feel a sense of dread. I have been there. I remember staring at my laptop screen, seeing a balance that was barely enough to cover my rent, and wondering where it all went. It felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, sprinting as fast as I could just to stay in the exact same place. Most people think the problem is that they do not earn enough money. They believe that if they just got a raise, or a new job, or won the lottery, all their problems would disappear. But I'm here to tell you that this is a lie. The problem is not your income. The problem is your relationship with money. It is an invisible prison. You are the prisoner, and your habits are the bars holding you back. Today, I want to show you exactly how I broke those bars. I want to take you on a journey through the 5 lessons that changed my life forever. We are not talking about boring accounting or complex stock market charts. We are talking about the psychology of wealth. We are talking about why you sabotage your own success and how to stop doing it. If you have ever felt like money is something that happens to other people, but never to you, this video is the turning point you have been waiting for. Grab a notebook, sit back, and let us start the process of reclaiming your financial freedom, one step at a time. Let us begin with the uncomfortable truth. Most of us are addicted to the idea that more money will fix our internal chaos. Imagine you are thirsty in a desert. You drink a cup of water, but you are still thirsty. So, you think the solution is a bigger cup? You get a gallon, then a barrel, then a swimming pool. But if there is a hole in your cup, it does not matter how much water you pour into it. It will always be empty. This is what happens when we chase high salaries without changing our mindset. I used to be obsessed with the next paycheck. I thought that earning more would finally grant me peace of mind. When I finally got that promotion, I felt good for exactly 1 week. Then, my lifestyle inflated to match my new income. I bought a better car, moved to a nicer apartment, and suddenly, I was just as stressed as before, but with more expensive bills to pay. This is what we call the lifestyle treadmill. You see, money is a tool, not the destination. If you do not learn how to manage what you have right now, you will never be ready for a larger amount. Wealth is not just about what comes into your bank account. It is about what stays there. It is about the gap between what you earn and what you spend. If that gap is 0, you are broke, no matter how much you earn. We need to stop focusing on the total amount and start focusing on our habits. This is the first step toward breaking the cycle. We need to learn how to be the master of our money rather than its slave. Why do some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle for every single cent? The answer lies in your money blueprint. Think of this as a hidden program running in the background of your brain. It was installed by your parents, your teachers, and your environment while you were growing up. If you heard phrases like money is the root of all evil or we cannot afford that as a child, those thoughts became your reality. I had to sit down and audit my own beliefs. I realized I was terrified of success because I subconsciously believed that rich people were selfish. Can you imagine the damage that causes? I was actively avoiding money because I wanted to be a good person. This is a common trap. We create these stories to justify our current financial situation. If you believe money is bad, you will never allow yourself to have it. To change your results, you must first change your story. I spent weeks writing down every single negative thing I believed about wealth. It was painful. It required me to challenge the lessons I had been taught for years. But as I dismantled these false beliefs, I felt a shift. I started to see money as a neutral force. It is not good, and it is not bad. It is simply an amplifier of who you already are. If you are a generous person, money will make you more generous. If you are an insecure person, money will just give you more ways to hide that insecurity. Start asking yourself today, what did your parents tell you about money? What are the stories you tell yourself every time you look at your wallet? Once you name the problem, you can solve it. Most people spend money like they are walking through a dense fog. They do not know where it is going, why it is going there, or what it is actually buying them. I used to be this person. I would swipe my card for a coffee, a subscription I never used, or a lunch I could have made at home, and I would think nothing of it. It was just a few dollars here and there, but those few dollars add up to thousands over a year. This is not about being cheap. Being cheap is about denying yourself joy. Being intentional is about choosing what truly matters to you. I learned that every time I spent money without thinking, I was actually betraying my future self. I was trading my financial freedom for a fleeting moment of convenience. So, I started a simple exercise. For 30 days, I tracked every single cent. No exceptions. It was uncomfortable at first, like looking in a mirror after waking up. But then, it became liberating. I noticed that I was spending heavily on things that brought me zero happiness, while being stingy on things that truly improved my life. I realized that my spending was not a reflection of my values. It was a reflection of my impulses. Once I gained control over my spending, I felt a sense of power I had never known before. I was no longer a victim of my environment or my cravings. I was the architect of my own life. Start asking yourself, does this purchase move me closer to my goals, or is it just noise? When you spend with intent, every dollar becomes a seed you are planting for your future. Now that we have managed our spending, let us talk about the greatest force in the universe, compound growth. It sounds like something only math teachers talk about, but it is actually the secret weapon of the wealthy. Imagine you have a small snowball, you push it down a hill, and as it rolls, it picks up more snow. The bigger it gets, the more surface area it has to pick up even more snow. By the time it reaches the bottom, it is a giant boulder. Money works exactly the same way. When you save a small amount and put it into an asset that grows, you earn a return. Then, you earn a return on that return. It is like planting a tree. At first, you see nothing. You dig the hole, you water the soil, and you wait. You might even feel like you are wasting your time, but beneath the surface, the roots are spreading. The secret is not the size of your investment, the secret is time. Most people are too impatient, they want to get rich overnight. But building wealth is a slow, boring process. It is about being consistent, not being a genius. If you start early and let your money work for you, you can achieve results that seem impossible to others. I used to think I needed to be a stock market wizard. I was wrong, I just needed to be consistent. I stopped trying to beat the market and started letting the market reward my patience. Wealth is not a sprint, it is a marathon. The people who win are the ones who stay in the game, keep their head down, and trust the process of time. Are you willing to be patient? Before you invest in anything else, you must invest in your own peace of mind. I spent years living on the edge. Every time my car broke down or my rent increased, I felt the ground shake beneath my feet. I was living in a constant state of financial anxiety. It is impossible to build long-term wealth when you are constantly putting out fires. This is where an emergency fund becomes your shield. Think of an emergency fund as your personal insurance policy against life. You are not saving this money to spend it on a new laptop or a vacation. This money is for the unexpected events that life throws at everyone. It is for when you lose your job, when you have a medical emergency, or when your refrigerator decides to stop working on a Tuesday afternoon. When you have this safety net, you stop making desperate decisions. You no longer have to take a bad job just to pay the bills or borrow money from high-interest lenders. I recommend that you aim for at least 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. Start small, put aside $50, then $100, and keep going until you hit your goal. It is not about the interest rate you earn on this money, it is about the security it provides. When you know that you can handle a crisis without going into debt, you change how you see the world. You move from a defensive mindset, where you are always worried about what might go wrong, to an offensive mindset, where you are focused on what you want to achieve. This shift in confidence is the bedrock of every successful investor I have ever met. Protect your peace of mind first. We have all heard the stories about people making money while they sleep. It sounds like magic, doesn't it? But the word passive is misleading. There is no such thing as income that requires zero effort. Every system that pays you requires either upfront capital or upfront labor. I used to think I could just build a website or invest in a random stock and then sit back and watch the money pour in. That is how most people lose money. True passive income is actually delayed active income. You work hard today, you build a system, you invest your capital, and then after a long period of consistency you begin to reap the rewards. It is like building an irrigation system. You spend weeks digging ditches, carrying pipes, and setting up the pump. You are exhausted, you are tired, but once the system is finished, you just turn the valve and the water flows. The mistake people make is looking for the shortcut. They want the result without the labor. I learned that I had to provide value to the world before the world would pay me passively. Whether it is through creating content, building a business, or investing in companies that are doing the hard work for me, I had to provide something that people actually wanted. Stop looking for get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, ask yourself, what skill can I master, or what asset can I buy that will continue to provide value long after I have finished my shift? That is the real path to freedom. It is not about doing nothing. It is about choosing what you want to work on for the rest of your life. Here's a fact that most financial gurus will not tell you: you are going to lose money. At some point, an investment will fail, or you will make a mistake in your budget. It is inevitable. The difference between those who build wealth and those who stay poor is not that the wealthy never lose. It is that they know how to handle the loss. When I lost my first investment, I was devastated. I wanted to quit. I thought I was not cut out for this. But then I realized that the loss was just an expensive tuition fee. I had paid for a lesson. I analyzed what went wrong. Did I take too much risk? Did I not do enough research? Was I too emotional? By turning the loss into a lesson, I ensured that I would never make that exact same mistake again. This is what we call the growth mindset. If you view every failure as a final judgment on your worth, you will never try anything new. But if you view failure as data, you become unstoppable. The biggest enemy to your wealth is your own ego. You want to be right, you want to win, and you want to look smart. But the market does not care about your ego, it only cares about the math. If you can detach your identity from your financial decisions, you will make much better choices. Stop trying to prove that you are smart and start trying to be profitable. When you lose, own it, learn from it, and adjust your strategy. Do not let one bad month define your entire future. A setback is just a setup for a better comeback. Are you ready to learn from your mistakes? Most people view debt as a normal part of life, like breathing or eating. They buy clothes they cannot afford, drive cars they do not need, and pay for dinners they will forget in an hour. But here is the secret that no one tells you: debt is just you stealing from your future self. Every time you use a credit card for something that does not build value, you are essentially promising to work harder for the bank in the future. I spent years trapped in this cycle. I was paying interest to the bank while my own savings were sitting at 0% growth. It felt like I was running a race with weights tied to my ankles. The psychological weight of debt is far worse than the financial cost. It limits your choices. You cannot take a risk on a new career, you cannot start a side project, and you cannot sleep well at night because you are always looking over your shoulder. The key to escaping this trap is to prioritize your debt like your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. Stop looking for excuses, sell what you do not need, pick up extra hours, and cut your lifestyle down to the bare minimum for a short period of time. This is not a forever state, it is a temporary sacrifice for permanent freedom. When you finally pay off that last balance, you will feel a weight lift off your shoulders that you did not even know you were carrying. You are no longer working for the bank, you are working for yourself. Take back your future by eliminating the anchors of your past. Are you ready to cut the chains of debt? Once you have mastered your habits, your spending, and your mindset, it is time to look at the other side of the equation, increasing your income. You can only cut your expenses so much, but there is no limit to how much value you can provide to the world. If you want to earn more, you have to become more. It is a simple law of nature. You are paid for the value you bring to the marketplace, not for your time. If you are trading your time for a fixed hourly rate, you are hitting a ceiling. To break through that ceiling, you need to shift your focus from working harder to working smarter. Ask yourself, what is one skill I can learn that will double my income in 2 years? Is it coding? Is it sales? Is it public speaking or digital marketing? The most successful people I know are constant students. They never stop upgrading their own internal software. I started dedicating 1 hour every single day to learning a new skill. Not watching television, but actually practicing something that the market pays for. At first, it felt like a chore, but after a few months, I saw opportunities that I used to be completely blind to. I could solve problems that others could not, and that made me indispensable. Your income is a direct reflection of how many people you can serve and how well you can solve their problems. If you want to change your relationship with money, start by changing how much value you offer to others. The more you help, the more you will earn. It is a beautiful and fair system. Many people think that being rich means hoarding everything you have. They think that if they give money away, they will have less. But the truth is the exact opposite. Generosity is actually a psychological signal to your brain that you have more than enough. It breaks the scarcity mindset that keeps so many people feeling poor. When you give, you feel abundant, and when you feel abundant, you make better decisions with your money. I started small. I decided to donate a tiny percentage of my income to causes I truly cared about. Even when I was struggling, I gave something. It was not about the amount, it was about the act of giving. It changed my heart. It made me realize that money is a resource that flows, not a treasure to be buried. When you hold on too tightly to your money, you become anxious and fearful. When you let it flow, you open up new channels for more to return to you. Generosity also builds your network. When you help others win, they will want to help you win, too. It is the most powerful form of networking there is. People will remember that you were the one who helped them when they were down. You are building a reputation as a person of value, not just a person of wealth. Wealth is not just about the numbers in your bank account. It is about the impact you have on the lives of those around you. When you focus on giving value to the world will eventually find a way to reward you tenfold. We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about your money blueprint, your spending, your investments, and your mindset. But if you walk away with only one thing, let it be this: your money is a tool to buy you freedom, not things. It is about the ability to choose how you spend your days, who you spend them with, and what you want to leave behind. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, but they never ask what that money is actually for. I realized that my wealth was not for buying fancy cars or expensive watches. My wealth was for buying time with my family, the ability to travel, and the power to support the causes that matter to me. Your legacy is not the size of your bank account when you pass. Your legacy is the lessons you taught your children and the difference you made in your community. Building wealth is hard, but it is worth it. It is a path of self-discovery. You will learn more about your character in the process of building wealth than in any other pursuit. You will be tested, you will be tempted, and you will be challenged. But if you stay the course, if you remain disciplined, and if you keep your focus on the big picture, you will reach the finish line. You are in control, the path is clear, it is time to start your journey today. Thank you for watching, and remember, the best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. Go out there and build the life you deserve.